Jags Nation. This is the Action Sports Jags postgame show, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
I think it's one of the most stunning losses I've ever seen in Jaguars history. And ladies and gentlemen, I've seen them all. But today, right here at the bank, the Jags got hammered by winless Houston behind a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback, 37-17. It's the postgame show. Hicken and Martineau. We're going to break it down right now. I am so disgusted, as I'm sure everyone around this franchise is, with how they played, Brent. I can't really find the words, but we're going to over the next hour.
Yeah, this team just isn't good. I just put a poll question out there, Dan, and Mike, what's the most embarrassing part of this loss? The offense still can't get it together? The defense that let a rookie do that to them? Or special teams that was atrocious? A blocked field goal led to a touchdown, a missed field goal, and then a fullback running a touchdown, which is one of the most important.
Brent Martineau is not kidding you when he just told you a fullback outran the Jaguars coverage team for an 85-yard touchdown after the Jags had pulled within 7. Yeah. They were able to pull within 7 on 2 different occasions in the second half, and then they got traumatized by a 63-yard touchdown. I'll tell you what, I can't believe, but I can, no sacks against a rookie quarterback who'd been sacked 11 times this year. The Jaguars defense today reverted to more so what we thought they might be, but the offense still hasn't come back.
The Jags have a couple of problems that might not be fixable right now. If you can't get after this team and get to the quarterback, if you can't get turnovers, which really has been your MO, to get turnovers against a rookie quarterback, and then their offensive line, this is 3 games in a row. The offensive line isn't good enough. Trevor's going to get hurt. He came up a little gimpy at the end. He's got someone in his face all the time, and his receivers aren't helping him out even when he makes the throws. I didn't think Trevor was bad. I just think guys aren't making plays, and he has not enough time to let things develop.
Well, that brings us to Calvin Ridley, who has given us 1/2 of great football and 2.5 games of absolute garbage. And you could point, I don't know that would have changed the outcome, but yeah, Calvin Ridley dropped a touchdown pass on the first possession after the Texans went 3 and out. No, like, we're on our way. We're right down the field. Trevor throws a beautiful pass. Ridley, for some unexplainable reason, can't catch the ball. He dropped another one. He jumped off sides twice. He has not played well at all. I don't know what's going on, and it's affecting Christian Kirk. We didn't have Zay Jones today. And we have Trevor Lawrence, and we can't throw the ball deep because the O-line can't block long enough.
Yeah, listen, I've got sports is about confidence, right?
Yeah.
And right now I'm concerned.
I have none.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I don't either. And I don't think this offense does. I don't think Calvin Ridley has a whole lot. I don't think Jamal Agnew has a whole lot. I don't think Trevor has confidence in the guys around him right now. And I'm not sure Doug Peterson has confidence in anybody in that locker room right now. I mean, they just laid an egg. And you want to talk play calling and everything else. Oh, yeah. It's not about play calling. Yeah. Doug's biggest problem right now is he can't get these guys to play well.
Right. And that's, look, the Jaguars are now in a huge hole. And it's hard to sit here and say, it's over, it's done. But Brent, you lost to Kansas City at home, okay. But those are the type of games you have at home this year. But then you get a layup with Houston. A layup. And you throw up a bunny and miss it. You miss a layup against it. Now, you're 0-2. Your next home game, by the way, is in London. And that's next week. And Buffalo just beat the living heck out of Washington. And you might come back from London 1-4, and it might be all she wrote, my man.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like 2018, because remember 2018, They went 3-1 to start the year, then it collapsed. This is totally different out of the gates. Now, here's the deal. It's the NFL, right? NFL's weird. You got to go get a win in London, come back 2-3, beat the Colts here and be 3-3 to settle this thing down and have the rest of the way. Still not ideal, but at least you got to settle it down. You can't come back 1-4 1-4. They got to get a split in London against Atlanta and Buffalo.
This is maddening on so many levels, but for me, the worst is that Houston has now won, is it 6 in a row here, 10 of 11 overall, and they are all-time 29-14 against our franchise. And this is a Houston team. Brent, has Houston been to a Super Bowl?
No.
Has Houston been to an AFC championship game?
No.
What gives?
Rookie coach, rookie quarterback. Jags haven't beaten Houston back-to-back games since 2013 now. I mean, they're not that good. Like, they're okay, but they're not that good. It's just amazing.
I have a telling stat for you about this franchise that I thought was going to change this year, and now I'm concerned. You're a baseball fan. They play 162 games, right? Did you see this? The Jags in their last 162. Jacksonville, what you have rooted for is a 50 and 112 loss football team over the last 162.
Feels worse than that.
That's the Oakland A's and the Kansas City Royals this year, my friend. It has been awful, and I thought we changed last year. I will say this. The days of thinking we're going to cruise to the AFC South Championship are over. We are not cruising to jack squat.
This might be the best team by the end of the year in the AFC. That kid's a good player.
Really good.
He played really well. They coached it well. They put him in good situations. They block it well. They got 4 backup offensive linemen playing better than our offensive line in Jacksonville. Their defense is always hard-nosed. D'Amico Ryan's going to make sure that's the case. They played without 2 of their best defenders and still got after the Jags. I mean, it's really disappointing how all this shook out today. Only guy you can say that played well. One guy played well. Travis Etienne.
Etienne. We are looking at the quarterback comparison right now, and Trevor falls to 1-4 against Houston, by the way, all time. He didn't play badly. Nobody is helping him. You commented in the press box, there's someone in his face every moment. I don't know which is worse, our offensive line or defensive line. It was my only concern going into the season. The NFL is such a trench game, and I'm not going to say the bad word, but we stink in the trenches right now. Brent Martineau, the Houston Texans were missing 4 of their 5 starters. You tell me right now, if the Jags were missing 4 guys on their offensive line, who would be playing? Hance, Cole Van Lanen, whoever else, Shatley, my God, and our guys. And now, by the way, as we watch the last 2 games, it does make me wonder about that fluky 4-sack performance week 1 when we got 3 because the rookie quarterback stepped out of bounds a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but here's the deal, Dan. Like, you're right. Maybe the backup offensive line, the Jags would be better than the actual offensive line. But the problem with the Jags, in my opinion, you can raise questions about the pass rush. Everybody questions the offensive line. The bigger problem is what you thought would be good hasn't been. The wide receivers. Calvin Ridley and company. They just like Kirk is inconsistent now, and Zay Jones is hurt a little bit, and Agnew has fumbled in 3 out of the last 4 games. Like, you thought that would be at least good, and you can correct the bad offensive line or outscore people. You can't even do that right now.
Not good, great.
Yes.
Media members, Stuart Weber included, uttered to me throughout training camp that this would be the greatest Jags offense in the history of the franchise, in the history of the 29 years. Right now they're performing like one of the worst 5 I've ever seen. It's mind-boggling to me, but it starts up front, man, and it's not looking like there are solutions out there. So Doug Peterson is going to have his hands full, and all of us who came out in August and said 10, 11, 12, 13 wins, my friend. It's a battle to the end to try to win the South and get into the postseason.
Yeah, it's going to be a dogfight now. And now listen, the Jags are going to play hey, we go to London, we'll get away from the noise, that's fine. The bottom line is...
You bring the noise to London because they need to answer for the noise, Brent Martineau. You bring the noise.
I wonder sometimes, right? We wondered this last year a little bit. When does this start happening? right? Because
pointing fingers.
They were mad last week, but they were together. They're mad.
Yes.
Well, are we seeing tables and chairs being thrown in there? And maybe that's what you need to do.
Maybe we do.
I don't know, but I mean, Doug's got to figure this team out. Like he's not. He pushed all the right buttons last year.
Right.
He is not pushing the right buttons right now to get these guys to play at their best level, and I can't figure it out. I don't know why. They're better players on paper than they're playing.
And this is a small criticism. There are a lot bigger criticisms of the players who played this game today. But Doug seemed influenced by last week and kicking field goals today, and that backfired on him. Hey, Doug, the hell with everybody. Stay true to yourself and go for it on 4th down. We needed to get ahead of this team and try to get on top of them. We let Houston hang around, take the lead, hang around, build on the lead, and we could never get back. Maybe we thought we could just come back from 7. It's impossible to come back from 17 down. We happened to do it 4 or 5 times last year. Maybe we've been flummoxed by that.
By the way, they were on their way to doing it again. I had a good feeling they were going to win the game until they give up that kickoff return right here to the fullback. That really did happen. I'm going to the locker room right now. They just opened it up. We'll get all the answers. Have it for you later today.
All right, so the post-game show continues with me now, which is probably a bad thing because I'm still furious by what I just saw. And I mean this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 29th year of Jaguars football. And I have never seen a more stunning loss than what I saw today. I mean, stunning is what I'm trying to tell you. I mean, who saw this coming and the way that it came? 37-17. And we seemingly can move the ball up to midfield, and then teams make adjustments. I'm wondering, have they figured out this Jaguar offense? Do they have a feel for Doug Peterson now? Did we fool them last year? We're not fooling them this year? I don't know. Is the film study telling them something? There are so many questions right now that these guys are going to have to start to answer. How about this? How about 9 of 14 at one point on 3rd down conversions for Houston, and yet the Jags at one point were 2 of 9. 2 of 9 coming off a 3 of 12 and a 3 of 12. Liv has the game notes up. Liv, what are they?
Currently 31st in scoring. Made a couple weeks free agent, but they've seen no fruit of that so far.
Yeah, we outgained the Jags in total yards, and it still was awful. Continue, please.
That's a defensive play caller, so he's got his work cut out for him, has a lot of experience.
More first downs, more yards, fat loss. What's the last one?
And another Chicago's defense playing without the star safety.
Yeah, 5 for 13, 2 of 9 when it mattered, peeps. 2 of 9 against a team missing. Trevor Lawrence should have been able to name the number that he was going to throw to. And shame on Calvin Ridley. Shame on Christian Kirk. Shame on all these guys for the way that they helped him out today. And especially shame on an offensive line. I said this on X. Stuart, is it still Twitter? You're a young guy. Is it X or Twitter? X. I said this on X. We have Trevor freaking Lawrence, and we can't throw the ball deep. In 3 games, we have 1 40-yard plus play. Last week, a throw down the middle to Christian Kirk, and that, my friends, is it. And you guys all want to tell me we had a top 10 receiving crew? My butt! That was deplorable. And every play, somebody's getting after Trevor. Every play. ETN came to play. God bless Travis. He made up for his brother not getting any carries last night. He said, give me the ball and then give me my brother Trevor's carries too, and we'll do fine. He had 88 rushing. I don't know what he had receiving, but he had a lot. He was well over 130 yards of total offense. And we scored 17 points against Houston. I can't get over the fact, though, that the Houston Texans didn't have Laramie Tunsil, didn't have 3 other starters on the O-line that, by the way, are not exactly household names. They trot every Tom, Dick, and Harry from the practice squad, hey, you go play. Hey, you go play. Hey, where are you from? I'm from Morgan State. Great, you're starting this week in the NFL. Just block Trayvon. Just block Josh. Just block in the middle. No sacks. I don't want to see them. The Colts have won their game with Minshew. Of course, they're now 2-1. And then everybody else is 1-2. So long first place. The Colts are in first place. I would like to take this microphone and hurl it at this camera. What is this word right here? What is this called right here? The lens. I would like to come back here, take this microphone, throw it at the lens, and be able to slow-mo it later when I smash the lens. The only problem is I would probably miss the lens and knock out Stuart Weber's front teeth. And then HR calls, it gets ugly, there's a lawsuit pending. So I'm not going to do that, but I want to. It was ridiculous what we saw today. It was unfathomable. Is that a word? Unfathomable. They're working harder than the Jaguars worked today. Look at them. That's effort. Get a shot of them, Stuart. That is effort. We had none of that. That's effort. Out here, no effort. None. Oh, here we go. Let's try to sack C.J. Stroud. He's a rookie. He's been sacked 11 times. Not one sack. How many pass attempts did C.J. Stroud have? No, I don't want to go around the NFL. It's a quarterback comparison. Passes attempted, complete. He's probably a 30. 30 times he dropped back to pass, and he ran like 3 or 4. So 35 times. Not a one sack. Not a one sack, man. It's mind-boggling. How about the bust play when we blitz them at the end? We climb back within scoring distance, and they hit a 63-yarder. I don't even know who caught it. Was that Tank? Their Tank? Tank Dell? Who's 5'10", 100. They're working harder than our football team worked today. 5'10", 165 pounds. I've never seen a guy in the NFL as open. Oh, yes, I have. Last year when we played the Raiders and Devontae Adams was but we came back in those games. We're not coming back anymore, man. This offense stinks. This defense is no bueno. We are in a world of hurt, ladies and gentlemen, at 1-2. And, ladies and gentlemen, if I could find the button, what's the word on the button, Stuart? It's called the panic button. And if I could find the button out here, which I don't see it anywhere, I would punch it. I would step on it. I would jump up and down on it. Because Jacksonville, it's panic time. 1-2? 2 losses at home? You still, by the way, in case you're scoring, have the 49ers coming to Jacksonville, the Bengals coming to Jacksonville, the Ravens coming to Jacksonville. I mean, we're not out of anything, but here's what's the most disconcerting. We're an average football team. We sold you a bill of goods, Jacksonville, and I apologize. We sold you a bill of goods. I'm responsible. Stuart Weber's responsible. Brent Martineau is responsible for selling you and telling you this is a playoff team. We got a chance to go to Vegas. And I'm not going to start on the underperforming football players, including the rookie class, who looks outclassed out there, and include our right tackle, our backup running back, he did score a touchdown today, our tight end. These are top 3 round picks who haven't done anything this year yet. Again, it's early, but I don't see much to get excited about, peeps. If I'm Houston, all of a sudden, here come the Texans, right? If I'm Indy, they're jumping up and down. They just won in Baltimore. If I'm Tennessee, I'm thinking about we need a quarterback, man. They got hammered by Cleveland today. That's a good thing. I don't know what else to say, except that we're going to have to dig out of this, because guess what? NFL ain't going to say, oh, poor Jacksonville. It was poor Houston. They didn't play anybody. Stingley was out. Petre was out on the defensive side of the ball. They didn't play anybody.
Tree Line Street.
We had our guys. What did we got to show for it? Disaster. 1-2. We just lost at home to the Houston Texans, man. And we didn't just lose. We got butchered. We got butchered by the Texans. Chopped up into little pieces and left. Here's Doug Peterson. Oh, this should be fun.
Not to you, but can you start with the kickoff return, how the fullback was able to do that on you guys?
Did you watch the play?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he just, it looked like guys quit.
Tackles. I mean, it just, those types of things are unacceptable. I mean, you know, it was a great kick, right where we wanted it to be. Ball was on the ground. Just poor execution. You know, we couldn't get him on the ground. Great play by them. You know, just failed execution.
Was the effort on that play in general lacking today for you guys?
I mean, at times I think, but you know, I thought I thought these guys were actually in a good place going into this football game, and you know, standing here right now, obviously that might be a little different, but you know, we talked all week about, you know, this team that we're playing is a good football team. It's the National Football League, it's a division opponent, all those things. D'Amico has those guys playing extremely well, a lot of energy, and we were going to have to come into this game with that same type of energy, and I give credit to Houston. They got after us today.
Doug, what is your biggest reason for why the offense isn't functioning at the high level that I guess we all expected it to?
Well, you're seeing you know, the drops. You're seeing the turnovers. You're seeing penalties, untimely penalties. You're seeing flashes of, you know, excellence and brilliance, and then a setback, and it's just the consistency that we needs to improve, and it's not there right now. You know, we got to continue to work and continue to get better, and you know, figure some things out.
Doug, do you think there's any sense that this team maybe read too much of all the offseason hype and is now pressing to try to maybe get to where they thought they might be?
You know, I think that's real. I do. I think that's real. And you know, I've been around this game too long to know that you can't live in the past, or you're gonna fail in the future. And you know, we've just got to focus one day at a time. We got to get better each day, and can't worry about next week or the week after. Can't worry about the London trip coming up. We can't. You know, we just got to focus in on the week at hand, and you know, that part of it starts with me and making sure that the guys are, you know, hearing that message, you know, loud and clear from me, and I'll make sure that they get that message.
Doug, in the locker room Wednesday after practice, they seem really focused and really ready to go, as if the Kansas City loss had already been put behind them. You said it was a great week of practice. Do you have any understanding as to why the slow start once again? You know what? I wish I had a crystal ball, honestly. I'd probably answer a lot of questions, but you know, I thought the guys were more focused this week. I thought that the Kansas City game, whether we pressed a little bit in that game and made too many errors in that game to bounce back, have the type of week we did, but
again, the guys are, gosh, I mean, they're doing and saying and all the right things, and it's just really hard to put a finger on it. It's coaches need to coach, players need to play, leaders need to lead. That part of it starts with me, and we've got ourselves in a little bit of a pickle here, and we've got to work it out.
Doug, just what went wrong with the pass rush today? You weren't able to bring down Stroud. They're missing 4 out of 5 of their starters on the offensive line. Why wasn't it able to get home consistently?
I mean, you can maybe point to several things, but we have to do better. We have to do better. Starts up front. Starts with the offensive line on offense. Starts with the defensive line on defense. It starts right there. Again, I'm going to say this again. We need to coach better. We need to play better. We need to execute better. Whether we are reading our press clippings, we need to get out of our own way right now. We need to evaluate ourselves, beginning with me, and we got to figure out how to win a game. Yeah, go ahead.
Offensively, Doug, obviously you guys come out at halftime and moving the ball a lot smoother. What changes were made at halftime?
I think, grabbing their attention at halftime and just letting them know that the first 30 minutes was unacceptable. It's not up to what our standards are and our expectations, my expectations for this football team. I say we're too good, right? We got the pieces, but we're not playing well. And so they came out, they executed extremely well. We got it back to that 17-10 mark, and then the kickoff return happened. And those are just the moments that right now are just keeping us from pushing through this wall, getting over this hump, right? And those are the things, those are the moments that, every man in there takes ownership, accountability, and we just can't let those happen.
I know last year, sorry, just one more follow-up. I know last year, obviously, when you took over, you were very considerate of where this team was, where they had been. How much harder have you found yourself coaching them, perhaps? Situations like that at halftime and really getting after them?
I think we're past a lot of that. I think they understand where I'm coming from. Because, listen, I challenge this group quite a bit during the week, and I try to make it as hard as I can during the week so that hopefully on Sunday they can play and all of that. And, we've come a long way as a team, and these guys have really, worked hard to put themselves in this position to have, to be in the conversation, around the league and stuff. But right now it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And that does start with me. That's a direct reflection on me. And I got to make sure that we're doing, that we coach better, offensively, defensively, on special. All 3 phases had a hand in this one today. All 3 phases. And I'm taking nothing away from Houston because they played well. But for us personally, we've got to do a better job of coaching and making sure that our guys are prepared. I do the right things in practice. We're doing the right things, and we put together a good week and then ultimately finish up with a win on Sunday.
Doug, because most of the guys are back from last year, do you get a sense that there's a feeling in there of, well, we turned it around in the second half last year, we'll eventually get it right, and there's not the urgency to get it right quickly?
That might be a question for those guys. I don't feel that, but I feel like this is the NFL, and if you've got to be ready to play every single Sunday, or Monday or Sunday night or Thursday night, whatever's on your schedule. And, you don't take anybody for granted. I don't care who's playing, who's not playing. This is the NFL, and everybody's good. And you've got to be in the right frame of mind, every Sunday when the ball's, teed up and kicked off. And today just is not – it's not a reflection of really who we are. But again, we've got 7 days to listen to the criticism, which is rightfully so. We got to take it. We got to take accountability for it. We got to block out the noise and figure out how to win.
I believe you said off the top, Doug, that you got in your own way, couldn't get out of your own way today. How difficult is it to get out of your own way? Sounds like it's between the ears for some of these guys. It looked like it was between the ears for some of these guys in the huddle at the line of scrimmage. So what can you do as a coach off the practice field to get them out of their own way, if you can?
That's the psychological part of being a head coach sometimes, and if you figure that out, those are breakthrough moments. I think too, and that's why I say coaches have to look at themselves, because we got to make sure in all three phases, are we doing enough? Are we doing too much? Do we need to cut back? All those types of things to just free these guys up to just to go play. And sometimes if you can just simplify and you think about training camp, right? You come out of training camp and you run your basic stuff offensively and defensively, and you have some success in camp, and sometimes you have to get back to that sort of mentality, I think. And listen, by no means do you panic. Again, it's early. There's a lot of ball ahead of us. I think, I know we've got the right men in that room, in that locker room, to figure this out. And, everybody's got to do their part.
I'm panicked, Doug. I am panicked. P-N-I-C-K-E-D? Or no K? There is a K. That's what I thought. Yeah, I'm panicked. Now, panic has no K, but panicked does have a K. And I'll tell you what the K stands for. Killed, because that's what happened to us today. We got killed by the Houston Texans. He said it, too, not me. I don't know if they're reading their own press clippings. They damn sure are. They must be. And I don't know what press clippings we're giving them, but we ain't giving them. I apologized earlier. I again say so 100% over and over again, man. The media fed you a bunch of malarkey. This team stinks right now. No, not him. They got to get better, and they got to get better quick. So you don't have to panic, Doug. But if you come back from London 1-4, listen, this is 2018 all over again in a different way, but it's still 2018. If you come back from London 1-4, you better find a win over there, man. And by the way, Buffalo annihilated Washington. They're fine. Atlanta lost to Detroit, so they're coming off a loss too. It's the battle of the Toy Story bedroom next Sunday morning at 9:30 with Woody and Trevor and the whole gang. Who are the Toy Story characters, Stuart? Buzz will be there. Yeah, the little potato head, he'll be there. He probably blocks for us. He's probably our offensive guard. Slinky Dog, that's Calvin. He should be the Slinky Dog because he can't. He's just no good unless he's going down the stairs falling. So frustration continues. So anyway, plus how long did it take Coach Peterson to get to the locker room today? What time is it? 4:50. We're about ready to wrap this thing up. Does Brent got any sound? No? Oh, okay. All right, so that's all we got. We're just waiting on Trevor? We'll give Trevor about 3 more minutes, and we're calling this thing over. I'm not sitting out here in the hot sun all day. Why should I? Why should I try? Huh? Why should I try? They didn't try. I'm not trying. They didn't try. They had 0 effort today. We're terrible. These guys tried harder. Look at them. They're working hard. They're sweating. had a better day than the Jags. They're winners. They're walking off the field winners right now. Is what they are. I don't think they appreciated my sense of humor there. I don't think they like me very much, but that's okay. I don't care. You know why? Because our Jags are 1-2. 1-2. One more time. Jags lose to Houston 37-17. Things that bother me the most. No sacks on a team that had given up 11, on a team that had 4 starters missing on the offensive line. No sacks. Kayvon Chason is who we thought he is. The other guy on the other side, the draft pick, I don't know if he's made a play yet this year, but he's out there. Josh and Trayvon are average football players, man. Average football players. The defense reverted back today. It was not good at all. We let Shaquille Griffin come in here and dance on our Jaguar head. A guy who basically quit on us a year ago, came back to Jacksonville, started because of an injury, and helped hold our offense to 17 points. Is there no pride? Is there no want to? Who's the guy on this football team who will gather the boys up, grab Stuart Weber by the lapels, shake him, and say, do better? I mean, when Stuart has a bad day, I jump him. That's what you do. As a leader, as an older person, you jump the young kid. If he's giving it a half-A effort, you tell him so. And occasionally, maybe you slap him upside the head. I don't care at this point. Somebody on that sideline, show that sideline, Stuart. Somebody on that sideline, that's about as excited as it was the whole day, the Jag sideline. Dead. And it's still dead. It was dead during the game, it was dead before the game, and it's dead after the game. And the Jaguars lost to the Houston Texans by 20 points as an 8.5-point favorite today here at the bank to fall to 0-2 at home with 14 perhaps torturous games left. Trevor didn't sign up for this. I mean, now he's got to play better, but this one ain't on him, gang. ETN ain't on him. Guys up front. How about this one? 4th and 1, we go for it on a short, quick pass, which means all the offensive lineman has to do is stand up and whap the guy. If he just whaps the guy, Trevor has all he needs to throw the quick slant, which is caught for a first down. But our guy, Stuart, step out here. I have to show him what happened. Our guy, he goes like this. I mean, what are we doing, people? What are we doing? It's basic football, my man. I'm sweating. Liv, what are we doing? Are we done? Yeah, I feel like we're done. This has been a disaster show. Just pull a few of these clips and we'll run them tonight. We'll get you Trevor tonight. All of his comments on Action Sports Jack's Prime Time. What else do we have? Is that it? Do we have an early show? I don't. Yeah. That should be fun. We got Jags Report Live tomorrow. That's an hour show where we're going to break this thing down. Stuart, take it away. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Jags Nation, thanks for watching the Action Sports Jax postgame show, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.